friends. How are you? Hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing an interview with a brand new author today, and his name is Dickson, and he has written the book James and the Bully. And he's going to be joining me on Instagram Live in just a second. This has been illustrated by Alex Gubar, and it has a certain illustrative feel that I really love. Dare I say it's Robert Munch-esque. And I absolutely love the message and the theme and everything that Dickson has put into this book. So I'm really excited to introduce you to him as soon as he gets here. We'll invite him on screen. And I hope everybody is having a really good Wednesday. If you want to go to our website, pandemoniumpublishing.com, you will see that there have been some updates to our pages, and we're going through and just trying to upload some new books and doing our event schedule. So if you're out and about in your community, we really want you to come and join us, meet your authors, get your books signed. Some really fun things are happening. We're doing Authors in the Park in August and a whole bunch of other things that should be really exciting. So I'm just waiting for Dickson to get here. Let me just see. Okay. I don't know if he follows us on Instagram yet. I think that he does. So I'm just going to see if I can invite him. Let's see. We're just waiting for Dickson.
Hey, hello.
Hi, how are you? Good. It's so nice to finally meet you in person. I know we've spent a lot of time chatting on the phone and different things like that. So welcome. I'm going to introduce you to some of our authors that are on with us. And Dickson, I was just telling them that you are the author of a brand new book, James and the Bully. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today. All right. So let's get into it. Can you tell us about your book and just like a synopsis, kind of an overview, and why you decided to become an author?
Okay, so the book is James and the Bully. And so why I decided to become an author is like I've always loved reading. So always love reading, especially picture books, comic books, since I was very young, and it's been one of my dreams to write books. Um, Picture book, comic book, and so I just thought, you know, I just write one book or two books and see how it goes, you know. And this book, bullying, is because bullying is still like a very, it's still a topic in the world right now that that goes on, especially in kids' life and stuff. And I like being a kid, I've been bullied before, so I know how it feels. And also, I've also been seeing friends when I was as a kid younger being bullied and stuff, and I know what it feels like. And the real consequences when someone is being a bully and bullies others. They need to they need to be more awareness on bullying, right? It's not only even in childhood too, like even when people get to it. And bullying comes in different ways, it's not irregular, or I take your lunch, or I trip you while you're walking, but it comes in different ways. It's even all the way to adulthood. It's mostly in childhood and as a youth, but it does happen in adulthood. So we need to put more awareness into bullying. Let bullies know the consequences, and how we can stand up to for bullying, how we can stand up for ourselves against bullying, how we can help others. Because the way I see it, I don't know about others. If you see bullying going on, and you see the victim can't help himself. If you don't help them out, you're kind of supporting the bullies, right? So that's the way I see it. So yeah, the book was very important. It's because it's a book kind of like from personal experience, and also watching the news and seeing the people, the kids who's been bullied, they've died from bullying. That's terrible. terrible, you know. Like you go to school like every other kid to learn, you know, you don't want to, you know, die from bullying. I mean, we're all gonna die someday, right? But you know, as we live as long, you know, we live as long as possible till we get old, you know, achieve all these, you know, do our life purpose before we pass, not from, you know, bullying or, you know, gun violence, all that kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, kids school should be like a safe place, you know, where kids can go learn, you know, and have a better future, not you know, having to deal with bullies and, you know, gun violence like in the USA and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just a book to create more awareness about bullying and letting, you know, kids and people know that bullying comes with consequences, and if you don't help people that are being bullied, you don't stand up
Right,
for
right.
yourself, then you're
That's a
supporting
really good answer.
bullying.
And that kind of answered my second question about the themes. You know, it has bullying, bullying awareness, friendship, kindness. Um, so we've touched on the bullying part, but I also, when I read your book as your publisher, I really felt like your message was also to parents in terms of like what the signals could be for your child being bullied, because you know what, sometimes they're not going to tell you. That's just it. They're not going to say anything. They feel like maybe they can deal with it themselves, you know, or they become withdrawn or start to have mental health problems. Let's talk about the awareness part for parents, and you know what kind of signs you've shown in your book that show someone's being bullied.
Yeah, it has when someone is getting bullied. Yeah, some people, some kids, they're a bit shy, they're not very vocal. They think it's something they can handle, because sometimes these
Right.
bullies, they threaten you, right? They tell you, you mention a word to someone else, it's gonna get worse, you know. Um, so yeah, so as parents, like you gotta pay attention to your kids, not
Yes.
even parents, siblings, love them, pay attention. See when they're acting unusual, they're not acting the normal self. If they're getting sick very often, they scare very often, they don't really want to do activities around people. Notice that and try to get them to talk, be more open, be more listening, try to get them to talk, even as teachers, even as friends, as siblings, as parents, see when your loved one is pay attention to them when they're acting unusual, that their normal
Like
self, what's
grade
really going on,
slipping, that kind of
get them
thing.
to speak. Yeah, exactly. Grade slipping, skipping class, not eating their lunches, being
Right,
sick
right,
very often, you know, keeping to themselves all the time,
right.
not being happy and playful. So that kind of stuff, you got what there might be a deeper root
Yeah,
into that.
definitely. That
Might
was
be
really,
bullying
really,
and
really
stuff.
well said,
So
Dickson. Um, so your book has a kind of Robert Munch illustrative feel to it, which I absolutely love. Illustrated by the one and only Alex Gubar, and you know, I think that she helped capture the words in the story of what you were trying to portray and what you wanted to come across. So that being said, what do you want readers to take from your book? Like, what is the point of them reading this, and what change do you want to see?
okay, what I would like readers to take from the book is, you know, it's about the bullying, that they need to, like, if they see someone, like I said, if you're not helping out someone who's being bullied, because not every victim, can help themselves
Right.
out, can stand up for themselves in bullying, right? Especially if your bully is much bigger than you, much, you know wilder, much mean, so if you don't help them out, if you see that, then
Right.
you're supporting them, right? So yeah, so what I want readers to do, that don't be a bully. If you're
Right.
a bully, there are consequences for it. You might not receive the consequences right away, but there are consequences. Either you get in trouble with the law, or with your teachers, with your parents, your workplace. You know, there's karma. If you bully someone in
Agreed.
the future, you might get bullied back. You know, so there are consequences for being a bully. stand up for yourself, even though no one try to stand up. Sometimes these bullies pick up on you, or pick on you because they think you can't stand up for yourself. But once you stand up for yourself, they kind of they back to stand up for yourself. The consequences of being a bully. Do not ignore bullying when you see one, whether it's your loved one or a friend or a stranger. Try to stand up for them, because if you don't stand up for them, then you're
Yeah.
supporting the
I
bullies,
think that's a
right?
great
And
lesson. That's really great to
yeah,
take from it. And I also think that maybe, to start a conversation between parents and their kids. There are discussion questions in the back of your book, which I
exactly.
absolutely love. That's a feature that is added to talk about bullying, to kind of get a
Yeah,
conversation started where they kind of breach the subject and they want to bring these issues to the forefront, because this is a huge problem, like you said, that not only happens with kids, but happens in workplaces, happens in adulthood. So I think that's a really good takeaway for
yeah,
this book. And this book is going to be fantastic in schools and for kids, ages about
yeah,
4 to 8 is where we've kind of placed it. So that being said, what did you find
yeah.
as a first-time author the most difficult part of the writing process?
Hmm, yeah.
Writer's
I would
block.
say writer's block, because writer's block, you started on a great, like when you're writing the story, you started off great. If you start off great, you got to end up great. You end the story great, right? So you started off great, then somewhere in the middle, you get stuck. What can I write next, and what can I not do? And again, your constructive criticism as an author, as an editor,
Thank you.
it was great. It helped me, make sure I stay on the story, don't go off topic, stay on the topic, and ended up great, with your ideas and stuff. So I was able to, write the story, get over that writer's block, you know, end the story up great, because you can't start a good story then end it up badly, So that was fantastic, being able to write it, ended up great, you know, the part where, James is being he's being bullied by Joseph, bullying all around him. The normal end of a story is to see James being a winner, kicks Joseph's ass, and making make him suffer, and everyone is rooting for like James to stand up to his bully, beat him, win, and he's the ultimate goal. But the end of the story is so beautiful, where you know Joseph learns his lesson, and figures that bullying is bad, the consequences for it. But again, too,
Yes.
James offers him a helping hand, offers him friendship, shows him love, kindness, and they end up being friends, and everyone end up getting along. So I think that's a beautiful
I
way to
agree.
end
Yeah.
the story.
And I just want to add to
So
that,
yeah,
disclaimer as your publisher, there is no ass kicking in this book. There's no fighting the
yeah,
bully.
yeah,
There's no fighting. But there is a peaceful
exactly, yeah,
resolution and solution to the conflict, and that's what we want to teach the kids, right? Is to be able to
yeah,
befriend the bullies. Maybe they're able to make a difference and understand why the person is the way that they are, and it's about empathy and compassion and understanding. So I think that you did a really fantastic job with that,
exactly, yeah,
and you really made that come alive in your book, and were able to portray that in such a way, not only through the words but through the illustrations as well, so that kids can understand that, what, they're bullying me because of whatever reason, but it really doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with them. And once you kind of figure out,
yeah,
how to put yourself in someone else's shoes, excuse me, you come from a different perspective and you come from a different place. So, what advice do you have for anyone who is thinking of becoming an author?
So anyone is thinking of becoming an author, just go for it, go for it, don't wait. Like, try to read a lot of books, figure out what genre of books you want to write, because there's so many different genres. Figure out the one or two genres you want to write, and just, practice with it. Write a lot, make a lot of writing mistakes, learn from it, get in touch with the mentor, that is more experienced in writing books. Um, yeah, get in touch with the mentor, with editors, let them read over your work, give you constructive criticism, go back to the table, put pen to paper, just keep on writing, practice, then you get better at it. Keep on reading, think, research different ideas of like, stories you want to write for books, research different ideas, just think, look at your life, your personal experience, or the life of someone and see if you can create that into a story, you can create that into a book. So just go for it, right? Yeah, you never know what you
Right.
come out with at the end of the day, yeah, me becoming an author was kind of nerve-wracking. Like, I've never written a book before. It's like, how am I gonna do? Is it gonna come out great? But you just keep going, and you never know. At the end of the day, you just come out with something great, and it just becomes a lifelong thing. Just from one book to more books, and you just
Yeah.
fall in love with the
Let's talk
process.
about
And
that. So,
so,
are
yeah.
there any other books that you have thinking, in your pipeline you're ready to kind of share with us? I know about them, but let's tell other people watching maybe kind of what's in the works.
Um, yeah. I wrote a few other books, other storybooks, like children's books and a bit of comic books. I'm not ready to publish them yet, but hopefully in the near future I'll publish more of those. But yes, I think I have
Awesome.
like three or four more. I'll make sure the stories are really good before I publish them. And yeah, I just published this one right now.
Yeah.
See how it's doing. See how it's gonna go, and hopefully publish more. I love the process of
Good.
writing and reading,
Yeah.
especially with picture books and stuff. That's what like really attracted me to reading, as a kid, youth. The books without the pictures, yeah, I read it because they have tests, homework, exams I gotta do because teacher makes me read it. But once it has the
Yeah.
pictures in
Yeah.
them, oh, I'm
So,
on it. I grab
that being
it right
said,
away.
when you were kind of figuring out the illustrative style for this to help Alex find a direction, how did you choose the style that you did? Like, what inspired that?
Okay. I like illustrations that that a bit more realistic and that kind of tells a story, right? So um there's so many different illustrative style, but why I picked was Robert Munch. I've read a lot of Robert Munch books, and he's a illustrator. I think his
Yes.
name is Michael Marchenko, great illustrator. He's also a great author. I like how Robert Munch uses comedy in his writing. He doesn't just write books, but he also kind of makes you laugh with the books. It just comes up with this. So he's just a really great, fantastic author, and the pictures, that Michael Marchenko guy, draws really good pictures. So, and it's more realistic and it goes well with the story. Pictures like that
Yes.
really go well with the story. So that's why I kind of picked that book to use as inspiration. Alex Guaba, too, fantastic illustrator. She nailed it right on the spot, man. She nailed it. She did a great job with illustration. Love it. Goes well with the story. That's very important. That as the illustrations go well with the story, the
Yes.
illustrations help tell the story more visually than the writing. So yeah, everything is just good with Alex Weber being a great illustrator, Michael Marchenko, being an
Yeah, definitely.
inspiration,
So,
for the illustration.
what are
So
some of
everything just
your
worked out well.
favorite children's books as an author? Like, looking back, I know that you said you really liked Robert Munch and that you read novels and things like that when you had to. But is there a book that stands out for you that really made a difference in your life as a kid, or was it a combination of books?
Um,
And just thinking, one day I'm going to do this. Did you ever think that you were going to be an author? Like, was this a lifelong goal, or was it just something you kind of decided one day? Because there's both camps of authors. Some authors are like, you know what, I just had an idea for a story one day, decided to send it out, and here I am. And other people knew that when they were a kid, this is what I want to do. So where do you fall in to that kind of place?
So I wouldn't say it was a lifelong goals. Like I
Uh-huh.
had dreams of doing other things, but as a kid, because I loved reading books, storybooks, picture books, I just said I knew that okay, even though I don't become like a full-time author, at least I
Yeah.
want to write a book or two, you know. So I knew I so growing up, but I didn't think it was possible because growing up, I thought like people who wrote books, like, they're very smart, like they have like PhD degrees or like masters, and maybe all the teachers and stuff. So I enjoyed reading those books, and when I grew older, I'm like, anyone
Yeah.
can really write a book if they they're really focused and they really want to get it done. They have the idea. So I saw this, I just thought about writing a book, picture books, and because I also love drawing and illustrations too. So picture books were just perfect. You're writing stories, telling stories, illustrations. So I just looked at my life experience, personal life, looked at people around me, did some research, and I said, hey, bullying, it's a
Yeah.
great topic, why not,
Do you know
tell
what?
that story through a
I
book.
don't want to interrupt
And
you, but I
so
do want to touch on something before I forget that's so important. You said that you had this kind of preconceived notion that everybody who writes books has a PhD or master's degree or is an English major, all of these things. I think one of the most important things that
yeah,
authors do is show kids what's possible. They show them that they can be
yeah,
authors or illustrators or publishers or marketers too. And I think that's such a great message that they're able to do what
yeah.
you do. People in their community going into their schools to read to them, you live here. That's the really cool kind of thing. How do you feel about being a role
Yeah.
model as an author?
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Being able to inspire others to chase their
Yeah,
dreams and do what they want. Just like people inspired me. Authors inspired me, and they inspired me to chase my dreams. Because you just living your
right.
life. You think you're living your life. You're living your life. Achieving your dreams. Other people are looking at you, and you're kind of
Definitely.
like an inspiration to them. You're kind of like a motivation to them. So which is good, which is great. It's kind of
Yes,
everything comes by full circle, right? It will inspire you, motivate you to do follow your dreams that are similar to them and chase them. Then you're living your life, following your dream, doing your thing, and you're inspiring others to chase their dreams. So yeah, it's beautiful. So if you want to write a book, you have a great idea, go for it. Just make sure you kind of consult with an experienced author or publishers or mentors to give you that
absolutely.
constructive criticism, right? Because so that you can make it will
Definitely.
go from
That's great
decent to good.
advice. So, we hope that you're going to join us at some of our events because I know a lot of my team is on this Instagram Live and they're excited to meet you. And we
Yeah.
can't wait to have you at some
Oh,
of our events and to bring your book and, get it into schools and do readings and all that kind of stuff. So, we're really, really excited. We just
yeah.
updated our website today, and your book is on there, ready for purchase on Amazon as well. So you can get it at Amazon, and you'll be able to get it in different places as well. It just launched, so that's still kind of in the process and happening. But I really want to thank you for being
Okay.
here today and for sharing your knowledge with us
Yeah.
and
No
for
problem. Yeah.
just talking about what motivated you to write this and such an important theme. So we can't wait to see you at our events and introduce you to our teammates, and hopefully we'll be able to do that very soon. So thank you so much, Dickson.
Yeah. Thank you, and I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I'll try to come out to as much events as possible I can, and meet people and tell them more about my book, and also read and learn about
Sounds
others
great.
other
Thanks
authors'
so
books.
much. And it was a pleasure chatting with you. And you know what? Thanks
Thank you.
for coming aboard Pandemonium Publishing House. I know that there are a lot of publishers out there, but we're really glad that you chose us. So thank you.
Thank you. I
Okay. Have a
appreciate
great
it. You're welcome.
Wednesday. We'll see you
Oh,
later.
have a good day.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks so much for joining me, everybody. That was Dickson, and he wrote James and the Bully, and it is available now on Amazon and will be in stores shortly and at certain events that we will be attending. Thanks so much for joining me on live, and have a really great Wednesday.